guilty of crime.
And we're back. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. We finally made it. I'm your host, Jay, with Guilty of Crime, and we're back for another episode. Today, we're covering Adam Montgomery. Guys, I covered this case. This was one of my very first cases that I covered when I started my channel. I was all into the Madeline Soto case, and this one would slip in with the details and the trial for Justice for Harmony. So I'm well equipped in covering this case to tell you guys a new trial's coming. Adam Montgomery's murder conviction is overturned. It's out of there. What's next? All right, and I also want you guys to know, before I get started with anything, first, happy Friday. Come on in, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Get a membership if you can. I've got the goal up today. Again, hey, super chat, super sticker, Cash App, Venmo, all that helps. Still haven't got my card yet. And guys, happy Gemini season, baby. Tomorrow is the wife's birthday. And she's already out. She's already out laying outside at the pool, getting a tan. So tomorrow I'm going to head out. But again, I still haven't got my card yet. Happy Friday, guys. I'm not going to let that stop me. Justice for Harmony. The way that this all went down, it's, okay, so we've got Adam Montgomery, we've got Letitia Stout, and we've got the third one that just escaped my mind. And I knew that it would, that just got overturned. All right. So we've got 3 overturned cases here that have to be retried. Money it's going to cost. And don't even think about the money. Think about the people that are involved. Once I started getting into this case, after I heard this, I saw an interview with Harmony Montgomery's, so she had a sibling. She had another sibling, right? And that sibling was adopted by a gay couple, 2 gay men. Happy Pride Month, by the way, as well. Happy Gemini season. Happy birthday to my beautiful wife, Mrs. Guilty. And may justice be served for Harmony. But I'm going to give you guys, there's good news about it and there's bad news about it. And then there's just news about it. And the news is that this conviction is being overturned, and I'm going to tell you why. And then I'm going to tell you what's next. But I'm also going to tell you and show you what happened to this case that made it that way, and why did the whole case hinder on Kayla Montgomery, which it did. They say that the real evidence that convicted Adam Montgomery for the death of Harmony Montgomery, which by the way, they never found her body, my friends. They still have not found Harmony. All right. And these 2 idiots, Dumb and Dumber, go kill her. And Adam says, can you buy me some lye or lime? Have you ever heard that when you're trying to get rid of a smell or a body or something, you use something called lye Well, she went and bought lime. They bought the wrong thing. So they're carrying this little girl's body around from place to place, putting her up in the ceiling. They're putting her in a bag. They're throwing her in the back seat, and she's always covered. You know what I'm saying, guys? It's disgusting, but I'm going to go over what happened, why it got overturned, what's next, and a very key highlight of this case is Kayla Montgomery. And you got it. She's going to come back and testify, and she's not even in jail anymore. She was released shortly after Adam Montgomery was convicted. All right. Don't mean to interrupt, but there's some black fools trying to get me in. I don't know. We're not doing that. We're not talking about stuff like that in this episode. So let's, all right. All right, let's continue. The judge gave her to Adam. He needs to be in prison. All right, but I want to tell you the real deal. So let me say hi to everybody, and then hopefully you'll feel a little better once I tell you what's happening, the years behind it, what's going to happen next. I mean, there's a clear path forward, and that clear path forward for Adam Montgomery is not going to be a fun one. Okay? All right, so Jax, good to see you. Jax Stormo, how you doing, my friend? Always a pleasure. Mods, book 'em. Book 'em, Dano. Happy birthday, Mrs. Guilty. Joanne says, thank you, Jay. Cool and Chris, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. It dissolves flesh. Yes, and they got the wrong stuff. That's how dumb and dumber Kayla and Adam were. But the only way that he was able to be locked up for the death or murder of little Harmony Montgomery was because Kayla flipped on him. All right? Yeah, I yelled at the TV when it was now. I know, and I knew you guys wanted to talk about it because last night everybody was talking about it in my chat. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give them the option today and see if they want to talk about it because it sure sounds like it. All right, guys. Yeah, justice is not what we think it is, my friends. It's not even close to what we think it is. And it should be ever changing with the times. And it's just frankly not. They've got these weird stipulations that were made back in the early 1900s and even before, right? Yeah, bots, hashtag Steve, bye-bye, right? So they need to change with the times. And when you cross your T's and dot your I's, but you're looking at some really old penmanship, you don't know which one's which. And I say that to say the laws need to change to equip us for 2026, this day and age. And that's why, in my opinion, these things, murder got overturned. That was because the Becky Hill thing. Harmony Montgomery, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because they said they lumped a prior bad act together with her murder that probably convicted him, which is bullshit in my opinion. But what do I know? This is my case. It's stuck. I can't let it go. I'm a retired paralegal who never had a case get me like this one. Well, so legally retired, you must have read the 15-page document that goes over. There's literally a Supreme Court document, 15 pages, that was filed on June 11th, 2026. And it was argued all the way back in October 15, 2025 and issued yesterday. And they signed off, Attorney General and Solicitor General, on the behalf for the state, and Senior Assistant Pamela Felon, the defender. They signed off on this. I have 15-page documents. So I'm not going to go through all of it, but I will show you. Man, they go play by play. They say the jury could have found the following facts. The defendant was the biological father of the victim and Harmony Montgomery. In February 2019, the victim, which is Harmony, went to live with the defendant, Adam, and his wife, Kayla Montgomery, at the defendant's grandmother's home in Manchester. If you guys forgot where this is or was. Now, guys, this happened July 2019. This was already 7 years ago when the first charged offense occurred, and the 5-year-old victim, Harmony Montgomery, all right, she was a victim. The other occupants of the home at the time included the defendant's uncle and 2 biological children of the defendant and Kayla. Both of those children were younger than Harmony, and yet she was targeted. So I've got a 15-page document, and I want to know, you read it twice. Okay. All right, that's cool. I think I'm going to put it up there. I'm going to put it up on Ghost when I'm done here because people do want to know about that. And today I'm not going to get into, like, we're doing a very deep dive on what happened and what's happening next, but to read a 15-page document is not in the cards for me today. All right, guys, let's pull this out and get to it. Happy Friday, everyone. Once people start rolling in and getting in the vibe, you guys type some stuff in chat, hit that like, get a membership, gift a membership. I will certainly try to gift a membership later, but I don't have a card is my problem. That's my problem, is that my card is connected to one card and I don't have like $2 on one card. I'm relying on my Cash App that has $2. So I'll do what I can. All right. But I do have books to give away if you guys want. Let's go. Definitely trigger warning, guys. Happy Friday. Big hug to you, Sadie's mama, meandering on in. All right. This guy is not only white trash, but if you knew and you watched the trial, he didn't even show up for his own trial, guys. He's a human piece of garbage, and the judge called him a demon. All right. It got hacked or in Las Vegas. It must have. Like, my mom gave me some covers now for my cards, but when I was in Vegas and we were doing our thing, people have scanners in there. That's what I was telling you guys the other day. People walk by you at casinos when you're standing in line or playing, and they swipe either your purse or your wallet or whatever area, and they're able to capture your cards, guys. So that's what happened to my card. There was over almost $600 of fraudulent stuff on my my main card that I use every day. And so I had to cancel it, and I still haven't gotten it back. It's supposed to come in today, but I'm heading out to Napa. So I'm like, come on, please. Thank you, Foxy, for the Guilty of Crime membership. If you received that membership, please thank her. And yes, I told you guys the other day, I don't think it didn't really hit you until I said, guys, cover your cards. Not only did that happen to me, but it happened to Tori. And then right before all of that, my mom had some fraudulent stuff, not from Vegas. Mine was from Vegas. All right. So I still haven't got a card, but these things will take away any of these little covers, or you can buy a wallet with the cover, will make it so people can't steal your card number. Good to see you, Indy Isham. Always a pleasure. Happy Friday. All right. That's terrible. Sorry. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, well, Jamie, I don't ever ignore you, my friend. There's only 70 people in chat, and I'm just making my way. I'm meandering through. How you doing, Jamie? Good to see you. That's what happened to you last month. They scammed my... Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened. So, guys, cover up your cards. I'm getting the money back, of course. Wells Fargo just froze all of my funds, and I can't do anything until I get my damn card. So, it is what it is. We just expected that. Sorry you had to go. It's all good. You know, it happens. It happens. It happens. Yeah, we all see you. We all see you. Much love to all of you. Jamie, Trotter Daughter, Nikki Newbold says, choo choo. We'll get there. We will get there, baby. All right. Good to see you, One Love. Tell Mama I'm sending a big hug. All right. This guy's a human piece of garbage, and the judge called him a demon. I didn't even realize that was a Pennywise tattoo. I love Pennywise, but he kind of ruined it for me. So, guys, this is Adam Montgomery currently. Okay, it says father's conviction in the Harmony Montgomery murder is overturned. New Hampshire Supreme Court overturned the conviction of Adam Montgomery. Excuse me, I still got that cough. Accused of killing 5-year-old Harmony. Her body was never found. All right. This is him currently. This was him in court. All right. And Montgomery arrives for a sentence hearing at Hillsborough in 2024. Maybe that was him then. We'll take a look at it. It looks like him now. He looks much different, and I'm sure he's ready for the big boys. Right. So, guys, you guys know the drill. If you don't know, this 5-year-old Harmony Montgomery was a major victim in this case. And what they did to her prior to killing her was just as bad as taking her life. Now, Adam Montgomery was convicted of second-degree murder in 2024 in the connection with the death of that's his biological daughter, Harmony Montgomery, in December of 2019. That's 7 years ago, guys. Guys, he was also convicted on second-degree assault for having struck his daughter in July of 2019 and falsifying physical evidence and witness tampering. He was sentenced to 56 years to life in prison. So, in its decision, reversed the murder conviction. The court argued that the murder and assault charges should not have been tried together, and doing so prevented Montgomery from getting a fair trial, is what they're saying. And this is not up for debate, my friends. This is happening. As compared to the evidence of multiple disinterested witnesses substantiating the July assault, the evidence of December 7, 2019 fatal attack is substantially weaker, the court ruled. We therefore conclude that this disparity created a significant risk that the jury would rely on, and this is important, rely on the strength of the evidence that the defendant struck with the victim in anger in July to conclude that Kayla Montgomery, his wife, is the one that testified. He similarly and fatally struck the victim in December, but Kayla was just as involved. They gave her a lesser sentence and had her testify. That and the fact that they lumped a prior bad act and an assault together say that it gave him an unfair trial, which solidified his conviction of murder. So the court also argued that the evidence for the murder charge, largely presented through testimony by Montgomery's wife, Kayla, was not strong enough for the conviction. Kayla Montgomery testified that her husband stored their daughter's body in multiple locations, including a ceiling vent, remember, at a homeless shelter, a walk-in freezer at his workplace, and about what she said were her husband's plans to dismember Harmony Montgomery, his own daughter. All right, this evidence, however, supports that only Kayla's testimony, and guys, don't think I'm not going to get to that today. You guys are not going to, you will not be disappointed in today's episode, I assure you. So if you're here with me, hit that like button. If you leave, hit the like button on your way out, and do share this. All right, I'm giving you the full deal today of what's going on, what happened, and why, and then what's next. All right, so the justices also challenged the state's other evidence testimony from one of Adam Montgomery's friends. The prosecutor said that Adam Montgomery asked the friend to rent him a U-Haul in March of 2020, which they said was used to move his daughter's corpse, according to the ruling. Now, the friend testified, according to the ruling, that he witnessed Adam Montgomery pacing back and forth and repeating, "I fucked up," that night. This evidence does support the proposition that the defendant displayed a consciousness of guilt for something he had done. The justice wrote, it does not, however, corroborate Kayla's account of the victim's death. Montgomery will not be freed from prison in the wake of this reversal. He is serving a minimum of 32 and a half years, a 32 and a half year sentence in prison unrelated to gun crimes that began in 2023. All right. He faces an additional decades in prison for the assault charge he was found guilty in connection with the July 2019 incident, which the court affirmed in its ruling. His attorney, Pamela Phelan, said in a statement, or however you say it, Phelan, the court's decision addressed important aspects of a fair trial. Justice is only served when we provide a person accused of a crime a fair and just trial. So, a trial that is not conducted with those principles in mind does not do justice to persons accused of a crime or people who are victims of the crime. All right, Michael Garrity, the spokesperson for the state, said in his statement that the department plans to pursue a retrial on the murder charge only. All right, so do you guys get it? They did this because they said it wasn't a fair trial. They shouldn't have put the prior bad acts and the assault charge with the murder. And Kayla was the only person that circumstantially was used against him as a witness for her to gain her freedom. They're saying that's not fair. But they also say they remain confident in the fact of this case evidence presented and the exceptional work of the prosecutors, right? Blown smoke up their ass. We will continue our efforts to seek justice for Harmony and all those who knew and loved her. Harmony was reported missing, guys, in 2021, nearly 2 years after prosecutors said she was killed. Her body was still never found. All right, so I want you guys to remember that. Yes, this is in New Hampshire, Manchester, New Hampshire. All right, I'll put this back up there. Again, I'll make sure I get you all good. All right, Jason, old school gangsta. Where'd that come from? But I'll take it. I'm an OG. Isn't that what an OG is? What's up, Nikki? Good to see you. All right, so listen, he's not getting out, but still Harmony deserves. And here's the problem. The victims have to go through this again, and the state has to spend the money all over. Yes, Kayla deserves us. Wait, Kayla's going to be testifying again, Jamie. Just wait. We're getting there. We're getting her. Kayla Montgomery is a sorry ass bitch, in my opinion. And Kayla is Jen Soto 3.0, in my opinion. She used that little girl for whatever she could until the day she died. And then even then, she didn't give two shits about Harmony Montgomery, only about feeding her monster of a husband all the drugs and letting him do what he wants to her and the children. You're very welcome. All right. Why do people kill children? I don't know. I actually do know for this case. Adam Montgomery was collecting financial gain from Harmony Montgomery. So the state was paying him like they would pay a mother. All right. And remember, the mom didn't have custody. So I don't know if they made him or if they made her pay child support on top of that. But guys, it was for the money. All right. I know she's out of jail. She got out of jail almost immediately. Listen to this, guys. Right after she testified. So December 2019, this happened in Manchester, New Hampshire, right? June 11th, they vacated his second-degree murder in the death of the 5-year-old Harmony Montgomery ruling. Prosecutors say they are seeking a retrial, and a former judge clarified that the reversal was due to a procedural flaw. It was not sufficient evidence, meaning double jeopardy does not apply, and Adam Montgomery can be retried for murder. Now, Adam's sentence for the murder is still 32 and a half years before he even gets to serve the murder charge. So I want you to understand that, and I want you to understand that Kayla Montgomery, Harmony's stepmother, got a sweet deal. And she only ended up with, I think, about maybe like 2 years and a few months. She pled guilty to perjury and she testified against Adam in the trial. And she was out in just months after he was convicted. Not only that, guys, we saw her hearing. Did any of you guys see the hearing that, the hearing for Kayla Montgomery's, parole? That was complete and utter garbage. Like, I can't even believe they did that. I'm going to give you a quick timeline, though, for you visual folks.
And several years, beginning back on New Year's Eve of 2021. That's when Manchester police first announced a missing persons investigation for a little girl named Harmony Montgomery. In June of 2022, federal and local law enforcement searched the family's home in Manchester. It's here where prosecutors allege Adam tried to discard Harmony's remains in the family's bathtub after she died. In January of 2023, a grand jury indicted Adam Montgomery on a second-degree murder charge for allegedly killing Harmony. He pleaded not guilty to that charge, but conceded during the trial to charges of falsifying physical evidence and abuse of a corpse. In June of 2023, WMUR filed.
And this should help you guys to understand this as we continue, because of course we're going to go back and forth, because I'm telling you that a new trial is coming. I'm telling you why the new trial is coming, and I'm telling you what failed in the prior trial and what's next. All right. So that's why I'm trying to walk you through what happened. Remember that our little victim here is Harmony Montgomery, and we want justice served. All right. We don't want Kayla out there living her best life. I'll tell you, she should never be able to have more children. I know she still loves him. She still loved him on the stand. She literally Kayla only did that for herself. Yeah, she's a demon. Well, I'm going to get to that too. I don't know about her kids, but I know kids were taken away, and one of them, sibling of Harmony, was adopted, and you're going to hear about that because they have to go through that now again. All right. They have to relive it again. So now we're back up to 2023. Guys, this happened in 2019 of December. That's the month of Christmas. 2 years prior to anyone even knowing that she was missing, she was already dead. How is the system so flawed? That's a rhetorical question.
A motion to unseal an affidavit which revealed police believed Harmony died after her father punched her in the head. That theory was at the center of the state's argument throughout this trial. In 2024, Adam Montgomery was convicted of multiple charges, including second-degree murder and second-degree assault. He was sentenced to a total of 56 years to life. He is currently being held at a Virginia prison.
All right, so I thought I would give you that little quick timeline there to help you understand. Now, take a look at what the family and the people are going to have to relive through. And I got to tell you, I'm not sad at all for Kayla, but Kayla is going to be the main witness again in this trial. If they do run a full trial, I think that would be absurd. I think that Adam should just, like Murdaugh and the other people, I'm already convicted. It was a technicality. Let's just make a deal here. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know where the social workers were. Everybody failed her. Her mother does love her. Her mother did love her. Her mother still loves her. And her mother had a drug problem that she, she talked about. She openly talked about it. I'm sure for the rest of her life, guys, Harmony's biological mom is going to think about her daughter and what she did wrong every single day. Now, she sued. Harmony Montgomery's mom sued the state of New Hampshire, guys. So when you ask where are the you guys are asking where are the I don't know, I watched maybe Grizzly or something. Okay, so I got thrown off track. I was trying to answer you guys and then I got off track. Okay, so we're gonna have to do this all over again. And this is what the family's going to have to go through. All right, slurring off. I wonder how she's gonna be. All right, let's continue. For sure, she'll always have her. Oh, what I was telling you. Sorry, I got distracted. She settled a lawsuit for $2.25 million back in May of 2025. The state settled, and her name's Crystal Sorey, guys. All right, they settled without admitting wrongdoing. Now, the suit alleged that the Division of Children, Youth, and Families failed to act on repeated abuse reports before Harmony's death. So half of the settlement directly went to Crystal Sorey, and the other half was placed in the trust for Harmony's 4 siblings. Did you hear that? You see that little boy on the screen? That's one of them, my friends. All right. Now, she also sued Adam Montgomery in a separate civil case, and the judge found the father civilly liable. He ordered Adam Montgomery to pay her $15 million in damages to Harmony's estate. The award covered pain and suffering, loss of life, punitive damages, and his wanton, malicious, and oppressive conduct. Because Montgomery is serving a long sentence, Story's unlikely to ever collect that money, and other reasons, right? All right, let's continue. Come on, guys, hit that like button. Let's get in the algorithm there, my friends. Family responds. Now they got to go through this again. Remember that.
I spoke with Jonathan Bobbitt Miller. He and his husband adopted Harmony's half-brother Jameson. He says now that this ruling has now had the family reliving a nightmare. Yesterday, the New Hampshire Supreme Court overturned the conviction of Adam Montgomery in the death of his 5-year-old daughter Harmony. In a 15-page ruling, the state's highest court said that the assault charge in which Adam is accused of hitting Harmony should have been dealt with in a separate trial. He says that Bobbitt Miller says that he and his husband are trying to protect Harmony's brother from as much of this as they can, but say that one day their son will have difficult questions that they need to answer about this decision.
And again, we're going to revisit what Kayla said, what she did, what happened. Yeah, of course. The target of the abuse, however, happened to be, in my opinion, Harmony Montgomery. All right. She taught her to get Wesley. I don't agree. She taught her how to get her daughter back. All right, let's continue. You guys agree to disagree? That's cool. Thank you, Vivian. I appreciate that. All right, let's continue because we've got a long one today. I don't know if it's long necessarily, but I want to make sure that you guys understand what happened and what's next.
I wish they would be there with me when I have to explain.
So that's Jonathan Bobbitt Miller. Him and his husband, you can see them back here, adopted Montgomery's half brother. Okay, you see they've got 3 kids back there. I'm assuming they probably adopted them, but who knows? They could have had a surrogate. We don't know.
Yes, her father murdered her. He brutally punched her in the face and then cut up her body, according to the testimony. But yes, he was given another chance. No, your sister wasn't given another chance.
Yep.
Now, the Supreme Court upheld the other convictions, including the assault, falsifying physical evidence, witness tampering, and abuse of a corpse. Bobbitt Miller says it's hard to imagine having to go through a second trial. In the studio, Maria Wilson, WMUR News.
It's so sad. You see these people that want kids. I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that have wanted kids and maybe had trouble, or that's your predicament, right? Or other people, other, gay and lesbian couples that can't adopt, but they'd like to. And then you got these awful people like Adam that can just come in there, get somebody pregnant, collect on checks for years, abuse her, kill her, and have almost no repercussions. All right, I'm going to show you some of these documents, some of the highlights of them. Again, there's a 15-page document. And if you're like anybody else that's obsessed with this case, you might want to do that. You know what I believe, Kel? I believe, and I'm not saying that this is the reason why this is happening necessarily, but I think the retrials are starting to happen more and more for 2 reasons. Number one, we're getting a lot more evidence, a lot more information coming in, a lot more technology, a lot more things that are changing, but the time's not changing with the trials. We still got these old set of laws applied to this new life that we do. So that, I don't know, this particular one, it's really weird because, assaulting somebody, smacking your kid and assaulting them goes along with also taking their life. So I don't know how they, again, 15 pages, right? Happy Pride Month. Yeah, he's a demon and a coward. All right, so and I'll show you, I'll post the document when I'm done here. So guys, if you guys want to see what I'm working on ever, it's free. Just go to x.com and sign up for Guilty of Crime. All right, I put all my thoughts on this damn page. You can see I have 1,200 posts. When you see my account, you pretty much know what I'm working on. All right, and I'll answer you and all that. So here's the Supreme Court of New Hampshire's opinion reversing Adam Montgomery's second degree. I don't see why the prosecutor wouldn't be worried that this joinder could cause this very issue. It seems like they were hoping they could argue that the defendant initially agreed to the joinder, and that would be that. Now, does anyone have a question about what that means? Does everyone know what a joinder is? Anyone? All right. Well, you guys don't know what joinder is? It's basically putting multiple similar cases together. It prevents multiple trials from happening. So you try to put very close circumstances in with that. So, for instance, Stephen Stearns, they did a murder trial, or they never did a trial, but they did one for murder and one for CSAM. All right, because that's what will happen if you put multiple offenses into one trial. Usually they're similar or part of the common scheme of things. So it's really weird that they went and did this, even though they knew that there wasn't going to be separate trials for each. And now they're using this as a, now you get it now. Now they're using this as a way to appeal. They initially agreed and now they didn't. Okay, so now you guys got it, right? You get it now? A joinder is a case, similar cases put together for a trial. So if I was to smack somebody and then throw something at them, I shouldn't have a trial for smacking them and then another trial for throwing something. It should be under both. And that was what was agreed. But now they're using that as a reason to throw it out. All right, so some of the things here we conclude: under the circumstances, trying the second-degree assault and second-degree murder in a single trial jeopardized the defendant's right to a fair trial. We do not agree with the state's contention that the trial court's instructions was sufficient to counteract the risk of prejudice to the defendant arising from two charges jointly. Now, the instructions said only that the jury must consider each indictment separately and that its verdict on one indictment could not influence its verdict on another. So in other words, they could have found him not guilty on second degree murder, but guilty on the abuse charges. That's what they're saying. Instructions, however, told the jurors that they were prohibited from considering the evidence admitted on the one charge when reaching their verdict on another. All right. The instructions then left the jury free to consider the evidence of the defendant's assault of the victim in July when deliberating on the second degree murder charge. And again, I believe that's all because they don't have a body. All right. It's really hard to do this in 2026 without a body. What's up, Sleuthy sweetheart? How you doing, my friend? Good to see ya. Much love to you guys. Come on, hit that like button so far. And I don't know if I thanked you. Thank you, Foxy, for the Guilty of Crime membership. If you received that membership, please thank Foxy. I think he's hoping to get a conviction for at least, well, he's still doing 32 years. Might be why David hasn't been charged on the others. No, that's exactly why. They're totally going to keep the CSAM separate from the murder charge. Absolutely. I'm glad you guys are learning with Guilty of Crime. All right. Now, let's continue because there's so much more. You guys are in there talking about it. Again, I'm not going to read this whole thing because I have the 15-page document, but accordingly, the state disclaimed in the trial court that the very argument it makes on appeal, which is crazy. They'll do that, right? Because they don't have anything else to do than to appeal until their appeals are exhausted. And right here, it says the state asks that we attribute significance to the defendant's initial motion for joinder. That means the motion to put the two together, or three, or however many. And the state asserts that the argument the defendant advances now was available to him when he made the damn motion the first time. And he's arguing that it does not explain on appeal how any of the items in the state's Zwicker letter altered the analysis of that issue. Again, there's a lot to get in here and read, but I just want you to understand what that means. The joinder he originally agreed on, now he doesn't, and they're using that as an appeal. All right, the state conceded the defendant had the right to withdraw his assent to joinder prior to the trial, and he was entitled to a fresh consideration of whether that trial was in the best interest to put the two together or not. He agreed, and now they made an appeal. I cannot believe they're wasting the state's money like this. It's so weird that you could sign a document like that and then use it as an appeal, right? So there's that jerk off there. I can't comprehend that. What's up, y'all? Wait, sexual assault, I didn't know he was. Who said that? Wait, what? Basically, it's previous bad acts previous bad acts can't come in. That's what they're saying. But they agreed to the evidence that was coming in. So I get that. But they're saying the prior bad act was him knocking the kid around, I think, if I remember correctly, that was specifically. Okay, so let's do this real quick. I got a lot to cover with you today, but I want to talk about the reversal in a little bit more legal terms, and then I want to get into Kayla and how she affects us, what she's doing, etc. All right, hold on. Let me get back to, let's put this up. Justice for Harmony Montgomery. Where is everybody? Are y'all having storm issues today? I see you guys in and out. There's Kel, my girl Tiff, Tracy. Can't he get innocent? No, they don't do innocent. It's either not guilty or guilty. CSAM will be a federal. Exactly. There's so many different things. Why doesn't the state put more attention on the victims? Exactly. I don't understand why they don't put the resources to prevent this from happening to a child, but they put the resources into the aftermath of junk like this. It makes no sense at all. Yeah, that's crazy. No one said CSAM. Who said that they were CSAMing her? Anyway, Foxy says, I'm here. I mean, I don't remember any of that. I was talking about the Stephen Stearns thing about the CSAM and then the murder. That's why they didn't put the two together. But I'm not talking about him. I'm not talking about Adam Montgomery. All right, let's continue because today's there's a lot, but it's good and it makes you understand what the hell happened and what's next.
Years after a jury found Adam Montgomery guilty on all charges, the state Supreme Court here in New Hampshire has overturned the most serious charge of second-degree murder. Now, Montgomery stood trial back in 2024 on several charges, and prosecutors argued he killed his 5-year-old daughter, Harmony Montgomery, in 2019. Evidence and testimony recounted how Montgomery repeatedly punched the girl in the head because she was having accidents in the vehicle that they were all living in. Montgomery was also found guilty for dismembering her body, keeping her remains in a garbage bag at various locations until he dumped her body in Massachusetts. Now, she has not been found. Now, the state Supreme Court here in New Hampshire says the second-degree murder charge should have been tried separately from an assault charge, and that evidence from the previous assault had a risk of influencing the jury on the murder.
Which I guess when all you have to do is just appeal, right? Okay, let's continue. I don't know why they keep doing that. I am gonna look for a trend in what's happening with these cases, but I do think a lot of the cases the justice system really needs to catch up with the day and age that we're in. But it's crazy because the day and age that we're in is digital forensics and DNA and digital evidence. But then you hear people fighting against it when you have it. Oh, that wasn't like that. That's only a that or whatever. I still hear people talking about the freaking Koberger case. Now, I don't want to get into that. I love you guys. You guys can think whatever you want. Your opinion's great. We can agree to disagree. But I don't see why a man would plead guilty to something as heinous as that if he didn't do it, right? The touch DNA could have been anything. He could have walked by and touched it at the store. And BS, guys. When you have that much digital forensics and evidence and even the touch DNA, how it came back, why would there be blood in his vehicle? Didn't it take 7 months, guys? Guys, tell me it didn't take at least 7 months to arrest freaking Koberger. He had time. He had time on his side. He was at his parents' home in the middle of the night with gloves on, making himself something. Yeah, touch DNA, transfer DNA. I know. All right. Yes, we've been to Disneyland, but I'm trying to focus on the case because I get sidetracked. Yeah, she's been to Disneyland several times. All right, let's continue.
Charge. So now the state Supreme Court essentially affirming all of the other charges he was found guilty on, except for second-degree murder. They have now overturned that conviction. Live in Manchester, New Hampshire, Sarah Conji, WCVB News Center 5.
All right, Sarah, thank you. There are obviously many questions surrounding the latest court decision.
So joining us now is our legal analyst, Jim Barretto. Judge, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
And this is the legal jargon we're going to talk about real quick, and then we're going to move forward with what happened in the Kayla Montgomery case. I mean, with her in the case, why we know why it was overturned now, right? We know that Adam, there was an attack in December that was fatal. The court concluded the jury had been improperly influenced by the stronger assault evidence when deciding the weaker murder charge. So they're saying that's what jeopardized it. And they also, guys, they also are heavily questioning Kayla's account because she was a state witness that got a really sweet deal to say whatever it is that they wanted her to say. All right. So it's really weird how this all went down, but I really hope it gets corrected fast.
Good to see you, Katie. Good to see you, Ben, as well.
All right, so Judge, first off, explain this decision, because to a lot of us, it doesn't really make sense. Why would the Supreme Court say he should have had separate trials for the murder charge versus the assault charge?
Yeah, particularly where this was one of the most extraordinarily heartbreaking and, frankly, enraging cases we've heard in a long time. But as Sarah touched upon moments ago, this defendant was charged both with second-degree assault and second-degree murder, as well as other charges after Harmony disappeared. Prior to trial, the defendant objected to combining the assault case, which was based on entirely separate pre-death evidence, with the murder case. The prosecution argued that the assault evidence was relevant to show the defendant's extreme indifference to Harmony's life. The defense, on the other hand, argued that, look, combining the two cases in a single trial jeopardized his right to a fair trial because jurors would likely conclude that, hey, if he abused her before, he therefore probably killed her later.
Exactly. That's what they're trying to say. They have nothing but time, and now they're going to bring everyone back into court and drag them. All right. Oh, yeah. We took our son to Disney World in Florida, and I got to say, Deb, love you, but we like California Disneyland better. Just saying. It was cool at Disney World, but I don't know. I'm just a weirdo. I think I just like California. This guy isn't your average piece of shit. Her mother's the same too. Lulu from last night. Is her mother the same as that Lulu? Oh yeah, that's not even her real mother, Indy Isham. This is Jen Soto 3.0. Kayla Montgomery. I'm going to show you that potato next.
So, Judge, okay, this reversal is due to a procedural flaw. And now what happens?
Well, that's an excellent question. It was not reversed on sufficiency of the evidence grounds. What that means, if it had been reversed on sufficiency grounds, double jeopardy would likely bar a retrial. Yep. However, as you pointed out, this was not reversed on sufficiency grounds. And in my view, although I have the decision, it's right here, it doesn't explicitly say it, I interpret this decision as remanding it to the trial court for additional proceedings, meaning he can be tried again, but only for the second-degree murder charge.
One.
All right, so Harmony's body never found. Did this play any factor in this?
It actually, Ben, I think played a huge factor because the evidence of the second-degree assault was extremely strong, where the evidence on the murder, which was, as you point out, a no-body circumstantial only case.
Yeah, that's crazy. They didn't have a body. And yeah, this is absolutely on an appeal. They used the appeal to say that he didn't get a fair trial by lumping the cases together, guys. All right. So they say on December 7th, 2019, that Harmony was fatally assaulted by her father, but nothing ever happened with that. An earlier incident in July 2019, they talked about that freaking in court. They said there was an incident of physical abuse that occurred, And multiple witnesses at the trial testified that Harmony had a black eye and that Adam admitted to striking her. That evidence in court was there for the jury. So in 2021, Harmony was reported missing 22 years after she was probably already dead. All right. So prosecution and Kayla's cooperation. Now, Kayla was arrested on charges related to her statements, and she pled not guilty. She pleaded guilty to perjury. Prosecutors say that she cooperated with investigators and testified at Adam's trial in exchange for a deal. Her shifting statements and credibility were central to the defense challenges on this appeal. Okay, so I want you to understand that. Yes, it's an appeal.
Was extremely weak. So the odds that the jurors did fill in the gaps using the assault evidence to supply perhaps missing gaps in the murder evidence was high. And the New Hampshire Supreme Court agreed that the risk of prejudice was so high that they had no choice but to reverse the conviction.
All right, Judge Jim Barretto, we appreciate your time and expertise. Thank you.
Again, cross your T's and dot your I's, because he just said no ground to stand on. It's been approved. Let me show you this document real quick, and you guys can go check it out later on Ghost. I'll post it up there, right? It's a 15-page document, and it shows that on October 15th of last year, they were arguing this, and the opinion was issued on June 11th, 2026. That's why we found out about this yesterday. All right. Remember? Yesterday, everyone's like, he's getting an appeal. He's getting off on murder, but not technically. All right. So anyway, this is the documentation. It reads out for you what the hell happened, statement of facts, right? The defendant's uncle returned home in July. I mean, there's details in this. It's worth a read, but I'm not going to sit here and read 15 pages to a bunch of adults. Love you guys, but I think you guys should definitely take a look at this. It's an interesting read, and it's the facts of what happened in the case, and frankly, why they want to do this. This might be something you want to read, Synth. All right, 15 pages. And it's got a lot of details in this. You got the different the different rulings and the evidence that there's a lot of crossing T's and dotting I's in this case. So let's continue. Rightfully so. We need justice for Harmony Montgomery, and we still have not found her body. Marissa, I hope you feel a little better now that you're realizing he's got 32 years to serve, 32 and a half years before he's even going to be serving any of the second-degree murder, which is now thrown out and going to be retried. All right, I never wished to title news articles clickbait. I never wished the title to news article was clickbait. What? All right. Well, here we go. Lucy Goosey calls new trial coming clickbait. Okay. All right. Is that clickbait, guys? Harmony's family. I don't think so. New trial coming. Adam Montgomery's murder conviction has been overturned. What's next? Is this really a clickbait title? Did I do something wrong? Does any of you guys think this is a clickbait title? Anyway, I just want to know because I don't want to put shit like that out there. Grizzlies is Ellie. Is it from? Yeah, I put recommended titles by vidIQ. That helps you to get in the algorithm, but by no means do I want to put clickbait on here for you guys to come watch a show that I'm not talking about any of the stuff. So kind of ridiculous, Lucy. And now you don't get to even come back on my channel. It sucks for you. All right. Hashtag Steve sucks. You wish it was clickbait. See, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see anything about this clickbait. New trial is absolutely coming. Adam Montgomery's murder conviction has been officially overturned. And what's next? All right. I mean, we've been in here for 55 minutes and I haven't even got halfway through what happened. All right, let's continue. Yeah. And you know what? Steve does suck, but now we're getting to be on Turtle Island, and there's going to be a lot more of that type of stuff. So let's thicken our skin and let's get guilty of crimes to win Turtle Island. And hashtag Steve sucks. Golden Hen, didn't he have an extensive criminal history? And how did he get custody? How does plea not guilty but abuse of a corpse, now it's overturned? Does what he pled to previous enter into the new trial? Yes, everything's going to enter into the new trial, but they're going to have to, not everything. They're going to, of course, omit the things that they say are unfair. I know. That's so funny. I freaking love you guys. I saw someone said they came in. I just got rid of them, but they said, if I ever seen a clickbait title, it's this one. I'm like, I don't think his murder conviction's overturned. New trial coming. What's next? What do you want me to say? Something way different? I don't get it. We'll tell you when it's coming on. I didn't even know it was on last night. I just got lucky and I started listening, and they're like, call in, Jay, call in. So I called in, and it's like, hey, put guilty of crime up so we can get the crime crew together. All right. This is a good picture up there. Now, this is a huge focus. This is a central focus on the conviction that's overturned. Okay. There's a big question about Kayla Montgomery at her early release and the things that she said that led up. So although they're not going to have a document, they're not going to have a packet, right? They're not going to bring this packet in and this document that says, here's from the last trial, let's go. No, my friends. They got to put the effort back in to reading the documents, making sure the correct things are being brought in so they don't get another appeal. Hell, I think she was trying to say that they wish it was clickbait. Oh, well, maybe hey, sorry about that. If I timed you out, I didn't understand it. I'm like, this is not clickbait. But hey, yes, we wish it was clickbait too. Because when I covered this trial, it was hard to cover because it was in the midst of when Maddie's case was moving forward rapidly. And there would be something that I wanted to get out to you guys, and I couldn't because I needed to cover this. And anyway, now I have more time. Check this out. I brought you right to this. And I do really love Surviving the Survivors. Their discussions are top notch, and they have the best guests, like they say. Check this out. We're starting at 24 minutes, and this is because a central point is Kayla, and she's going to have to retestify, is what they're saying. So let's discuss this. And don't worry, I've got so much more for you today.
Let's get this right for Harmony. And then you find out the biological mom settled for $2.25 million. There's no amount of money that's worth that. Now, this going back to the trial, this is Kayla, the star witness, testifying against Adam Montgomery. Let's take a listen to this.
Did he say anything to you when he stopped?
He said he thinks that he really hurt her. But he felt something.
When he said that he thinks he really hurt her, where was the vehicle at that point?
At Burger King?
At the Burger King?
Yes.
And what did the defendant do after he stopped hitting her?
This woman is one of the most, I don't know if it's a combination of evil and dumb, but I know there's dumb and dumber. I know she's dumb. Adam Montgomery's dumber. I know he's evil. I can't tell what her deal is. I know she has no sympathy, no empathy, and she doesn't belong being a mother. But she goes on to say about how she still loves him. I mean, they talk about this in the trial, and she's not genuine. I don't even know how she got parole other than somebody saying, hey, man, she testified. Give her parole. Did you guys watch her parole hearing? It was garbage. They told her what to answer. Anyway, let's continue before I get heated.
Harmony, after he said, I think I really hurt her.
Nothing.
I know. Yeah.
Did you order food from Burger King?
Yes.
Where was Adam when you were ordering food from Burger King?
In the driver's seat.
Just fucking.
Did you go inside to the Burger King or something else?
No, I don't remember going in there.
Did you go through the drive-thru?
Yes,
And so who ordered the food?
Adam did.
And what did you do with the food that he had ordered?
Ate it, gave some to the kids.
Now, keep in mind when you hear anything from her, guys, she literally, she wanted to be with Adam one more time, but the way she talks about him and how she testifies just irks me. Tired, but happy to listen. Well, it's Friday, Allie. I figured you'd be sipping on something now. All right, let's continue. I will get over here control over how much. Yeah, that's another thing, too. It depends on how much control he had. I absolutely believe not only was she abused, the kids were abused, but she allowed all of it. All right. And I'm not saying anything for people that have been beaten and abused. I understand that it's a negative, toxic cycle that you have to get yourself out of. But when you have 3 kids or 4 kids living in the car, one of them you don't see half the damn time. She's under a blanket and she just pisses all over herself, like she says. There's a problem, guys. All right. What's up, Marissa? Serious codependency. Yep. Let's continue. Jen Potato, Jen Soto 3.0.
Where were you when you ate the food?
In the parking lot
Which parking lot?
of Burger King.
Now, the kids were behind you at that point.
Yes,
Is that what you testified to?
Listen what she said.
And who gave them food?
I did.
Did you see Harmony when you were giving them food?
No,
Why not?
because she was under the blanket.
Who put her under the blanket?
Adam.
I'm going to pick it back up, but Margaret, for everything aside, this is just so difficult to listen to. And this is the sort of.
Yeah, we're going to listen in this for about 10 minutes and have conversations. And then we're going to hop into some other things about the case. So you're all set to go. Midnight Lace, good to see you. Krista, how you doing? Happy Friday, everyone. Jay, I watched your video from Vegas. You and Mrs. Guilty are an adorable couple. I wish I could have met you guys maybe next year. I know. It's Mrs. Guilty's birthday month. And tomorrow's her birthday. So I got to go over there and go hang out. She's already by the pool hanging out. Oh, no, you don't. Truth exposed. I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying she's innocent, and I'm not making excuses. Men control women to protect. I get it. 110%. I get that. I do. But she's a piece of trash, in my opinion. I do believe that was happening to her. But I think that she's just a liar and a narcissist, and she doesn't need to be a mom. Midnight Lace. You guys saw that? We're on Turtle Island, baby. And there's a new logo, too. Did you do that logo? Tiff made some new, I think it was Tiff. Don't let me misspeak. But I think we have a new Guilty of Crime logo, guys.
Thing, obviously that is going to have a huge influence on the jurors. Just hearing that she was essentially forced to be underneath, hide under a blanket, the emotion of Kayla here. So if all the I's weren't dotted and the T's crossed from a legal perspective, and there is a conviction, it's no surprise because it's so emotionally charged, and neither she nor Adam Montgomery are going to be parents of the year anytime soon. So I don't know. You think the Supreme Court in New Hampshire had to take that into account? Just these jurors were going to act, and they acted pretty quickly. I mean, albeit over 2 days, but it was just 7 hours. So is that something that factored in to their decision, sort of the emotional aspect of this case?
Well, I think they had to remove themselves from the emotional aspect of this case. So the same rules of law apply in a case that's this heart-wrenching and awful. And,
this was a long trial, too. And we didn't think that Adam Montgomery was even going to have to show up for sentencing until the judge required. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine doing what he did to his daughter and then not even showing up for his own trial? I would have drug him in there and put a chain on him to the chair. Jody became a new member. Thank you. I don't know if you redid your membership, But thank you. And Elvin, thank you so much for the Guilty of Crime membership. If you receive that from Elvin, please thank her. Thank you, Elvin and Jody and Kel and Golden Ed and Foxy. Appreciate you guys. It all helps. Now I feed here. Squirrel. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Got to protect the children. No, check this out.
Public. And, a case that's very small that we might never hear about, like an OUI, but the same principles of law, you have a right to a fair trial. And if you think about it, some of these trials that we all follow, evidence of prior bad acts can't come in. So it's a similar theory there, right? So
So sometimes you do get prior bad acts in there, but for this particular reason, they agreed on what they brought in, and then now he went against it. So I don't know how that works, but definitely sounds like this is what's happening. The state of New Hampshire dropped the ball from the beginning. Yeah, that's true. Again, they didn't find her body. So now they're going to go into trial. They're not going to be able to talk about him being abusive. I don't know what they're going to be able to talk about because she's going to have to testify. So it's going to be interesting. Goes with my space helmet. It's like, All right, let's continue. Now, we drove, my friend. We drove the RV. All right, let's continue.
these bad acts and these prior beatings in this case, they do prejudice the jury. I'm devastated that it had to be overturned and we have to try it all over again. And I do think he'll be ultimately convicted.
Agreed.
But we have to abide by the law. We have to dot the I's and cross the T's, as you say, so that the system runs fairly for everyone.
Thank you.
Agree. Okay, so here's some of the rest of this testimony, and then we'll get Tim's take on the flip side.
That's the same blanket that you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Again, watch how she talks. There's no tears. It's all for herself. Wow, wow, wow. She's going to be the main person that's going to have to testify. And I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with I'm pretty sure they are going to redo this trial. I don't see why not. Adam's not going to be a stand-up guy and say, I don't want to hurt anyone or waste the resources. And if he thinks he can get a not guilty on the second degree, then he's going to do it because, guys, he's still maybe like in his early 40s and 32 years. I don't know if it's half a sentence or 85%. He'll be out by the time he's like 60 if he doesn't get the murder charges. All right.
The same blanket he would cover her with?
Yes.
Where did you go from the Burger King parking lot, Kayla?
Went back to Colonial Village.
And how did you get there?
With the vehicle, Adam driving.
Was Harmony still under the blanket when you arrived at Colonial Village?
Yes.
And that moaning that you mentioned, that weird noise that she was making, was she still making it?
No.
How long did that noise that she was making last?
I don't remember. It wasn't.
Don't you think you'd remember those small details where there's a little child in the back seat that's been under a blanket for days? You're tossing food back at her like a beast under her blanket, and you haven't even seen her. What? That judge, man. All right, so I didn't see what Tiff said. Tiff, did you make that logo? I just want to make sure I give the right credit. I want to show it after. This is guilty's bougie. Sure is. She didn't used to be. All right, let's continue. We've been together 21 years next month.
I don't remember. I don't remember if it was too long. I don't remember if it was after we were at Colonial Village for a little bit or if it was before.
But that moaning, did it eventually stop?
Yes.
Did you check on Harmony at any point after the moaning stopped?
No.
Did Adam?
No.
Why didn't you check on her?
Because I was scared.
I mean, just brutal testimony, and it's hard to tell how much. And
we have a little more of this because I just want to have the conversation before we get back into what's going to be next, what's going on, what happens. I love their conversations on here. I could sit there and listen to them all day. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna Kayla's it's going to be crucial. It's going to be crucial that she testifies again. The major information that she testified about was the abuse and then the disposal of Harmony's body. When she talks about bringing Harmony and putting her in the ceiling, him saying, hey, buy some lime or whatever, but she bought lime instead. A bunch of stories over and over again. And the abuse, the black eyes, you got the weapons charges. So the problem is they say that in hindsight, looking back, he didn't get a fair trial because all of that wasn't supposed to come in. And now it might be a different case with the jury, with the different jury and without that evidence. I don't think so, though.
I don't know. I guess I don't want to judge, but I am. It's hard to tell how much Kayla truly cares about this or doesn't. That's what's even more heartbreaking. Her trial was heartbreaking. He doesn't have the decency to reveal where she is. That's another thing. This is a nobody case. We had Ted DeBias on last night, and he's the expert. He wrote the book on nobody cases, but we don't know where she is, which is even more disturbing. Tim Jansen, your reaction to watching that little bit of testimony right there?
I think the prosecutors really had a weak case to give this woman a deal, knowing what her testimony was going to be, knowing that she lied in the grand jury about her whereabouts. This is all they had. And she lacks any credibility, any empathy. You know, they're ordering food. She heard her moaning. They're feeding kids and they don't hear any moaning, and she does.
Right? She just throws a burger to the back seat, hears some moaning, and keeps on trucking. Hasn't seen her in days. Why not? Oh, because, you know, Harmony just likes to hang out under that blanket. She doesn't come out to eat. She doesn't come out to use the bathroom. She doesn't bother a soul. Proof she didn't think it was her body hasn't been found without her, but they're not going without her. And this is why she's going to be a key person in this trial, in this next trial. Every person saying that she's absolutely going to be the key witness in this trial to tell you about his abuse and the body and the disposal of the body and the walking around and the hiding it and the things that they did.
Does nothing for a couple years. I mean, she was the perfect patsy for the defense to blame her, that she did it, and he was only covering the body up for her, except that she's small, probably couldn't. She probably could inflict those kind of wounds, but probably not. So, I think the prosecutors had a tough case here. It's crying for justice, and they just had little evidence, and they had this woman as their star witness.
Someone just asked an interesting question. Margaret, let me throw that to you. Can they overturn Kayla's plea deal?
We're going to listen a little more of this. I have it time-stamped, and then I'm going to show you. 2 years ago, Kayla was granted parole, right? Right after this trial happened, etc. She only had a few months. She breezed through it. That is interesting, and I wonder if they can do that, but I don't think so. I really doubt they can do that they can grant her parole, give her a plea deal, and then they messed up and just take it away. I don't think so.
Too. So she's a star witness. Can they take that away from her? What happens to her, sort of the immunity, I mean, not technically, I guess, but, you know, the privileges that she had in the plea deal that she had in trial number one?
I don't think they can take that away from her. It's like a contractual deal, but she has to still abide by the agreement. And she will have to testify again in accordance to that plea deal. So if she doesn't abide by it, then it's possible.
And Margaret, how the hell does this go for 2 years where the girl is off the radar? I mean, what's going on in New Hampshire? And I think she was in Massachusetts as well, but the trial was New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you disappear if you're a kid for 2 years from the system? And do we know if anything is going to be done or has been done? So there's no.
Guys, I didn't hear any charges. I haven't heard a thing about fraud. I know that he was collecting money on her behalf, and I didn't see charges anywhere for collecting for benefits. And I mean, 2 years she was dead and missing, and nobody knew about it for 2 whole years. So, I mean, that's why I don't think they're ever going to find the body either.
Not another Harmony Montgomery out there that just goes off grid, essentially.
Well, the system isn't perfect, and it's still not perfect here in Massachusetts, but I'm hoping that we don't have another situation like this, and they have put some, checks and balances in place and say they have to have people that check in on these kids. But from
You
what I've
think-
heard, they still have a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, Tim, your thoughts on that? I mean, 2 years before anyone even knows that she's missing. I mean, this stuff happens, but Tim, I mean, it's a big country, you know, close to 400 million people. Can more be done to ensure the safety of kids? I mean, we know.
I mean, I guess maybe they're working faster. Think about this. What's the case we just covered with little Melanie or Melody, where her mom took her? Her and her mom went on a road trip, and then she never came back, and people stood outside, bring her home. Where is she? Can you imagine that? I'm in DFW. Actually, FW saw a video on your channel about Everman. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, she was charged with fraud for that? Kayla Montgomery was charged with the fraud. Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that, because I did not dig into her at all today. I did only just enough to know what I was talking about with her intertwined in the testimony.
We've had some of these Ruby Frankie type stories. I mean, there's abuse everywhere in this country
Yep.
all the time, but can more be done, do you think?
Well, obviously, you need to know what kind of custody was he given. This child was in foster care. The mother was out of the picture, apparently.
She was
And
a
then he
drug
was
addict.
given custody by a judge and was at custody with the Department of Children and Family Services, Child Protective Services. They should have been looking in on this child, checking on him, even if it's only every 4 months or 6 months. But 2 years, only
Right.
after the real mother calls and complains that someone dropped the ball.
Yeah, and then you've got someone obviously reminding me, Susie in Boston, that it was also partly during COVID, which didn't help. Someone else I just addressed this, but it was.
I mean, that is partially true, but there's no excuse for any of that. Now, let's get to the, I want you to see them releasing her, and then we're going to hop into the next segment that just came out. All right, here we go. Kayla Montgomery granted parole. This was 2 years ago.
And Jennifer, Kayla Montgomery will spend a couple of more months in prison. Then she will be released for 90 days on intensive supervised parole. This morning, Kayla Montgomery appearing before the parole board here in New Hampshire, answering several questions about the crime she committed, what she has learned while in prison, and her plans for the future. She's serving time for lying to a grand jury in the case of her stepdaughter, Harmony Montgomery. Kayla later revealed she witnessed the 5-year-old's death and helped the girl's father hide her body.
If I just was honest from the beginning, they could have done their job sooner.
And what was their job?
To find Harmony and know what happened to her.
Now, Adam Montgomery, Harmony's father, was found guilty of her murder 2 weeks ago. Kayla was a key witness during trial, but was not charged with any crime related to Harmony's death. The parole board on the spot this morning granted parole. She will first have to finish some of the programs that
Guys, I know that you guys probably watched that back then. It was a 31-minute freaking parole hearing. It was the worst parole hearing I've ever heard, and the fact that they just let her out, they gave her the answers. She gave stupid answers, and they said, and then they released her. All right. They should have made her say where the body was. I think that she claimed she didn't know where the body was because he kept moving it around. Yeah, it was a bad trial. And here's the thing, Joanne, if this is a bad trial for you to watch, or what's up, Pam Todd, or Meme, or Indie Isham, if it's a horrific and hard thing for you to watch, what about the family members that have to relive that again? The siblings that have to talk about the disgust and the abuse and the filth, all the other witnesses that came into it as well. Imagine what they have to go through. I know Vermont's pretty bad too. It's rural, so there's a lot of places hard to check. They just not caught up with the times. Kayla is, I know, that's what I was showing you. Kayla was out of jail 2 years ago. Curious to know she's been no, I don't think she's allowed to be. I really don't, but I'm not sure. All right, let's continue.
she is enrolled in here in the prison, and that is expected to last until May. Then she will be released on intensive supervision for 90 days. Live in Concord, New Hampshire, Sarah Conji, WCVB News Center 5.
All right, here we go. Hope you guys are doing good. Happy Friday. Man, I'm so glad it's Friday. I don't know how it came so quickly, but hey, let me show you something real quick in between this. So Foxy made these. I wanted to make sure I give the right credit to where credit is due. Check this out for a palate cleanser really quickly. All right. And guys, the new trial is coming. Adam Montgomery's conviction is overturned. What's next? All right. Bottom line. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that. You can see I picked one, and I gotta stay true to my, I gotta stay true to my roots of the Guilty of Crime logo, where it's like a bloody logo. So I do like I love the one up at the top, the rainbow one for Pride Month. I do like the one at the very bottom, on the very bottom, but it's a little too, right, with the gun in the skull. It's a little too like angry. But the Guilty of Crime one, the one on the top, it just flows right with, in my opinion, my channel and what it represents. So hope you guys like that. That might be the one that you're going to see on Turtle Island. Guys, I can't tell you about Turtle Island yet until we know about it, but it'll be on again on Sunday. There's no instructions that I can tell you. All I could say is go sign up for Dolly Vision and Turtle Island and hit the notifications button. You'll figure it out. All right. I like that one too. It's the truest to the logo that I originally made. All right. It was the truest to that. So Pride Month. This one is dope. And trust me, if I wasn't thinking about you guys as an audience, I would definitely pick that lower version one because, the tattoos, I got the skull tattoos, my whole arm. This one is just nothing but skulls, but it's you guys. So I got to make sure I get the demographic. Yeah. Thank you, Foxy. All right. Back to it. There's Kayla. And now we're going to get into Adam Montgomery's murder conviction tossed. What's next? What happened? You probably forgot about some of the things, some of the people, some of the scenarios. Let's get into it, guys.
In July, before the murder of Harmony later on in the year. So it's separated by months, but both charges were in the same trial. And the jury said, not the jury, the justices said, no, they should not have been in the same trial. The reasoning that they give, again, I don't agree with it, but I understand their point and the point they're trying to make. So let's talk about, and this is from the actual opinion, what I'm going to read to you, the description of the actual assault.
Yeah, I'm not going to change that. I do appreciate your input, but this channel was created for me to get in the mind of serial killers, and then we started coming and doing giving children a voice that they, people and victims an outlet. So yeah, it's going to stay the bloody one. I'm definitely not going to change that. It's not representative of anything bad towards children. It's just a representation of true crime and what it is. But thank you again. I appreciate all of your feedback. And I'm very particular when it comes to my designs. So that's why again, this is true to myself on that one. So yeah, thank you. Let's continue.
Of Harmony Montgomery. For those of you who don't know the background, Harmony was this
Alex,
angel, 5 years old when she was murdered. But she had a mom who had a substance abuse problem, a dad who was in and out of prison all the time, also using and abusing drugs. And there was a custody battle. And the motivation for Adam Montgomery to get custody of his daughter, was the government checks that came along with his daughter, who had some special needs. Okay, so keep that in mind. There's a custody battle for this little girl. Mom has multiple children from multiple parents and is in different courtrooms on the same day, misses the hearing, and then the judge in Massachusetts just hands the child over to Adam Montgomery.
Okay, there
it is. For her to stay, had no job.
Okay, so that guys, when we came into this at the beginning, you guys literally said, "How the hell did Adam Montgomery get a hold of that child?" So number one, he got a hold of her because the biological mom was on drugs and going through her thing. Two, I don't think that he didn't want to pay child support, wanted to collect funding. there you have it. That is why he ended up with that little girl. What's up, Alex? Cooking with Mr. Good Looking. How's everybody doing today? Yeah, it is. But if you guys see my if you see the demographics, you'll understand why I don't put that one. And then the other one, the guilty of crime bloody one, I want you guys to understand my show is not for everybody. All right. There's times that I'm going to say things that are going to be insulting. I do show graphic content. I give you trigger warnings every day. A lot of people can't cover the things that I cover on a daily basis, right? Because it sticks in your head and it sticks to you. But I do. So I want people to know coming in, hey, you're coming into this. It might be gruesome and it might not be for you. All right. Let's continue. This guy is a piece of trash. I think he has 2 eye drops now. Didn't he get another tattoo? One for his daughter?
It was a mess. It was a total mistake by the system. It was a mistake by that judge. But the only one who pays the price is a little girl.
Yep.
The only one paying the price is this little girl. So she ends up going with her father, who then leaves Massachusetts immediately and goes to New Hampshire. And there's very little oversight in what's happening up there.
I know.
As he has custody, because he's got issues. He's rap sheet that's super long. That doesn't preclude you from being a parent. But he's also abusing drugs and is abusing his daughter. So this is what the court found. The jury could have found the following facts. Again, this is all relevant to the assault. The defendant was the biological father of the victim, Harmony Montgomery. In February of 2019, the victim went to live with the defendant and his wife, Kayla Montgomery, at the defendant's grandmother's home in Manchester. All right. Like I said, he didn't have a place in his own to live. He had to go to his grandmother's home.
And then they lived in the car for some time. You know how bad that would probably be with 3 or 4 kids, right? What's up, Angie? Good to see you, my friend. I got that. Yeah, we also do all of that too. So we can do all custom stuff, Elvin. So a lot of people do like the skulls. I just think on an overview, we'll do special circumstances. But the short video I did with the toddler clinging to without a phone. Yeah, I know. I get it. It's hard to cover these cases, guys.
In Manchester. He doesn't work. In July of 2019, when the first charged offense occurred, the victim...
Now, this is the 15-page document that I told you I'm not reading you. We're just going through bits and pieces. Again, it is a good read. Lots of good facts. Lots of things that you probably did not know about this case. But it's a better read for you than me. Let's continue. Happy Friday, everybody.
Was 5 years old. The other occupants of the home at the time included the defendant's uncle and the 2 biological children of the defendant and Kayla. So Adam had 2 children with his new wife, Kayla, right?
That's true.
And had Harmony from a prior relationship with Crystal Sorey. Crystal Sorey is the mother of Harmony. Both of those children were younger than the victim. The defendant's uncle returned home in July from a 3-week trip and saw the victim in the kitchen with a black eye. That's Harmony. Okay. So the defendant, Adam's uncle, sees little Harmony with a black eye.
And they brought
the
that in
uncle asked
the
the
trial.
victim what she had done, and the defendant answered, she didn't do anything. I bashed her around the bleeping house. Okay, at that point, how does he still?
But do you see that, how those things came in and people said, okay, there's no body, but due to prior bad acts and him being abusive, we're just going to convict him of that 2nd degree anyway. All right. Missed y'all. Big hugs. Big hugs. We all need big hugs this weekend. Happy Friday, guys. Love you guys. Hope you can read. DD is around. He's just not, we're not covering cases that I don't think we're covering coinciding cases. So I don't know.
Have custody of this child. Who dropped the ball here? The uncle testified that the defendant said he put the victim in charge to watch her 5-month-old brother. So he put Harmony, 5 years old, in charge to watch her 5-month-old brother, who's her half brother, while the defendant used the bathroom. And when the defendant returned, he found the victim with her hands over the baby's mouth and his lips were supposedly blue. So he's making an allegation that Harmony was doing harm to her little brother.
And so he knocked the shit out of her. Yeah, no, I think you're right. He was coming down off of his whatever, and he wanted to take his anger out on someone. Yeah, I haven't seen Trigger Warning. Yes, it was Deception Detective hasn't produced anything for 2 months. So let's say a prayer that he's doing well. You know, life gets busy. Also, guys, I'm still looking for, Dee Dee hasn't put out a video in 2 whole months. I always look for it too. Patricia NY. If anybody knows Patricia outside of this chat, or you guys see her in other chats or whatever, tell her I said hey, and tell her I want to talk to her if possible. I mean, she has my number, my email, my everything. So if anyone does know Patricia, or they talk to her, or they see her outside of a chat, let me know. I just want to make sure she's okay. That's all. I just want someone to say she's okay.
Harmony,
I saw her, and then we're good.
who's asked to watch a baby, and then Adam flips out and assaults his daughter. Okay. So those are the facts that were established at the trial. And these are the facts that the appellate court, the justices here are looking at as they decide the appeal of Adam Montgomery and whether or not he deserves a new trial.
Now, I think that these guys spent way more time chasing that dope sack and chasing the dope sack and the money for the children, that they forgot about them taking care of the children. All right. They just got caught up in what they were doing and trying to get their next bag. And I'm sure they were, you cheating on me. You're cheating on me. It was just a toxic environment all around. And when you get drug users that are coming down like that, bad shit happens. All right. Bad shit happens. I was just talking about this case the other day. Not much of a case, but one of we call her Nana. She's like another Nana to Baby Guilty. And she had a granddaughter. Baby Guilty's 11. The granddaughter would have been 7 now. The dad was watching her at their house, and I guess he was on a coke bender, and he passed that on the couch, and this little girl died of drowning in 4-inch water. She was riding her scooter in the backyard, and they have a pool. The pool was not filled up, guys. It was not filled up. So when she put her scooter into she must have either fell or tried to ride into the thing, hit her head, drowned in 4 inches of water because he was on a coke bender and he fell asleep on the couch. These people like that are not fit to take care of children. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys for the prayers. Let's continue.
So this assault, again, is July of 2019.
2 years
now, we flash forward to the murder, or at this point now, the alleged murder.
We don't even know.
Returned. On December 7th, 2019, right? So July, August, September, October, November, December, right? 5-6 months later. The victim, Harmony, had an accident in the morning, meaning, a young girl who lives in a terrible situation could have nerves and has an accident in the morning. Later that morning, the family drove to a methadone clinic where Kayla and the defendant took turns going inside while the other stayed in the car with the children, right? Because now the state of Massachusetts handed Harmony over.
That looks like a different person. Does that not look like a different person? And again, like I said, these people are just chasing the next high, the next drug. They're fighting with each other. They're not taking care of kids. All right. I know. I don't know where she is. I don't know what happened. I hope she's doing okay. No, I said a bender. He went on a coke bender, and when his bender was done, like we were talking about with Adam Montgomery, when Adam was coming off of whatever he was coming off, the anger kicks in, and you take it out on other people. In that case, he ran out of his bender, and then he passed out. Right? He doesn't even look like her. It's crazy. I know. Me too, Kimberly. Me too. I don't think we did anything to her to piss her off, but I hope she's okay.
To a father who's married to a woman. I don't know if they knew about the marriage. Who both have serious drug problems and rap sheets.
You think?
And don't have any money or steady jobs or steady work or a place of their own to live.
No,
okay?
Not
That's
judging
who the
at
judge
all.
of Massachusetts handed Harmony over to.
Yes.
without even hearing from the mother, who herself was being treated, had gone away to be treated at an
For
inpatient
drug
facility,
addiction.
and then couldn't make it to the courtroom because she had another hearing involving the custody of another child in another courthouse. So you don't cut.
That sucks. I completely forgot about that. I know earlier somebody told me, but that's really messed up. She missed it by that much. She was scheduled for overlapping court dates and she missed it. And there you go. That's why Adam ended up with a little Harmony. Damn, that's crazy, man.
The mom a break at all because you don't like the mom, right? That's what this. I mean, I'm sorry. Let's get back to this case and this appeal.
Who knows?
So the court found when the defendant returned to the car, he realized the victim had had another accident and started yelling at her and hitting her in the head repeatedly. Okay, they're living in a car at this point. They're literally living in a car. A 5-year-old.
I like when they showed the body cam here of them walking up to him and asking, "Hey, where's your daughter?" I don't know if they're going to show this on there, but I do like when they show the body cam. It puts a lot of things in perspective. I have no idea what they were going to. They probably did, but either way, you saw those pictures. You saw the picture of Kayla being booked in and Adam. They were both high as a kite or coming down. Terrible.
No bathroom.
Look at this shit.
Drug addicted stepmom and father who clearly don't have the nurturing abilities to be parents, but grabbed Harmony for the paycheck that came with her.
Yep.
And by the way, after the murder, after she's dead, they continue to get the checks because no one knows that Harmony is gone. They keep cashing the checks. From the methadone clinic, the defendant drove the family to Burger King. While they were driving, the victim was in the back seat, crying and making a strange moaning-like noise. She's in distress. Do they do anything to help the child who's in distress? Like,
nope.
Oh, you're in a car? Drive to the emergency room. Does not happen.
Oh, let's just pull over and make sure she's okay. Make sure she can breathe under that blanket. How about that?
The defendant told the victim to shut up, and at each red light at which they stopped, the defendant reached back and repeatedly punched the victim in the head, leaning over from the driver's seat at the red light, punching Harmony in the head. The defendant stopped hitting the victim when they got to Burger King. With the final punch, he said in a scared voice that he felt something and thought he really hurt her this time.
5 years
later
old.
That day.
5 years
later
old.
in the day. The family's car broke down at a traffic light and they had to abandon it. As the defendant and Kayla were getting the children out of the car, the victim did not respond. And they realized she's dead. Think about that. You're driving around with a dead child in the back. You don't even realize it.
My point to this is they should have came. Now, I'm telling you about what happened with the friend and the little girl that drowned. They're never going to get over that. But he did get arrested for doing that. Neglect and resulting in death, right? I don't even think he was in there for 2 years. I think that was months. He got sentenced, then paroled and out. So had Adam Montgomery, done something, they did something, called law enforcement, said it was an accident, whatever. They could have done anything. Instead, they walked around with her for who knows how long. I'm just saying 2 years of her missing, people not knowing she's dead, putting her in the ceilings, putting her in bags, carrying her around. What are you doing? What are they thinking? Yeah, he felt something. What does that mean? Did he break her neck? I mean, we're never going to know. And trigger warning, guys, this is about a 5-year-old little girl, Harmony Montgomery, that still needs justice because now we're going to have a retrial for the actual murder of her. I want you guys to realize, though, I don't want you to be too upset because nothing is declaring him innocent. Nobody has declared innocent, and the rest of the charges are sticking. All right, so that's the bottom line. He's got He's got convictions on assault, evidence tampering, abuse of a corpse. The new trial is only going to be for the particular murder charge. So everything else, along with the 32 years, you remember he had weapons charges, etc. Guys, he's not going anywhere for quite some time. So I don't want you to think that he's going to be getting out or he's going to be. I doubt they'll put him on bond. I know. Mhm. Thank you. Right. That's crazy. It is. Damn. What about the fake jumps? Five. Sorry, guys. I left it up there for a minute. I was typing something. She was 5 years old. Thank you. I didn't switch it back, and that's okay. I'm gonna do it right now. Here we go. All right. This is just it was him reading this, and I'll read it to you. The defendant, or December 6th and 7th, 2019, the defendant or Kayla killed her. Okay. While the jury heard no evidence that Kayla had ever physically assaulted the victim, it heard evidence from multiple witnesses that the defendant physically assaulted the victim in July of 2019. Thus, there's a significant risk that the jury would draw the impermissible inference that because the defendant assaulted the victim before striking her in the head, that he must have been the one who fatally assaulted her in December by striking her in the head again. All right. So that's what they're using. Although they did bunch this trial together in a way that seemed to make sense, they signed off on it. Now it's an appeal. There she goes with her no tear having ass.
In this case,
oh, I see one.
The New Hampshire court says no. That's not enough. That could not. That wasn't the reason for this murder conviction.
Mm-hmm.
The reason for this murder conviction was not Kayla being an eyewitness to it. It was because the uncle had seen or had heard Adam admit to beating up his daughter months beforehand. And because they were convinced of that, they assumed that he's the one who committed the murder.
Right.
As opposed to the only evidence from anyone inside that car, which was Kayla Montgomery saying, no, Adam did it. I saw him do it, and described how he did it. Adam didn't testify. He didn't even show up for this trial. Nope. He didn't get back in the courtroom until the sentencing.
I still can't believe that they did not make him come into the courtroom. And Lil Red, so here's the thing. She was the key witness in the testimony of him abusing Harmony and the punching her with the final blow. So although they do not have DNA or any of that type of evidence, they do have a lot of circumstantial evidence, including Kayla, I believe that's why they went for a second degree murder charge without a body. I don't think he's going anywhere, and I think it's going to be absolutely ridiculous if he gets charges that are higher than what he originally got. All right. Again, he has nothing but time on his hands. Appeal until you run out of appeals, and then you serve the rest of your life in prison.
There was an empty chair in the courtroom that was convicted. And he's getting a second chance. I don't believe he deserves a second chance because I believe the jury believed Kayla. Like you have direct evidence. How many times have criminal defense attorneys said there's no direct, this is merely a circumstantial case, there is no evidence. We have direct evidence. An eyewitness said, I saw it, this is what happened. I saw what happened. And the court in New Hampshire saying, no, we don't think that's why she was found guilty.
Yeah, and that's fine. Let's go back to court and do that. I don't care how scared I am. I'm not letting a grown man beat a little 5-year-old. What a coward. Yeah, and if you watch the full testimony of Kayla, coward is a nice word for her. I'll say that. She, Little Red, if she tells a different story this time, she is going to be convicted again with perjury. She's going to be convicted of lying. Did you not realize that was part of her sentence in the very first place, was her lying about stuff? So I really don't, that makes sense that it can happen, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. All right. So she's going to, Adam remains incarcerated. All right. The other affirmed convictions and separate firearm sentences, he's still going to serve. Now, Supreme Court did not declare Adam innocent. It only found a procedural error, the misjoinder of the charges that requires the murder to be tried separate to protect the defendant's right to a fair trial. Kayla no longer had any prison time to serve after Adam Montgomery's trial because she was released in May 2024, more than a year before this whole overturning conviction. She received 3.5 to 7 years. And can I tell you why? For perjury. That's it. It was perjury related to lying about Harmony's whereabouts. So you tell me, do you think she's going to go tell a different story and perjure herself? I don't think so.
The other assault really kind of tainted that jury's view of all of this. And therefore, those two cases should have been tried separately. There should have been an assault trial and there should have been a murder trial.
I know, I agree.
They should not have been tried together. Here's the conclusion. We conclude that under these circumstances, trying the second-degree assault and second-degree murder charges in a single trial jeopardized the defendant's right to a fair trial, right? So they're not even concluding that it actually did, but it could have. It could have. And that's where our law is. You know, and in courts across the country may rule that way. Judge Politan here, not the real Judge Politan, but this Judge Politan, would not have. I would have said there was an eyewitness testimony. There was no evidence to refute that eyewitness testimony. What is the jury supposed to do? An eyewitness testifies, yeah, I saw this guy commit this murder.
Right.
And there's nothing to refute it. There's no evidence to refute it. No other testimony. Nothing. Nada. Niente. Nothing.
He's trying to say every language.
But so what happens now? Adam Montgomery still in prison.
There's Pennywise.
But he should never, ever, ever, ever have the opportunity
to get out. I agree.
So you're going to retry this case. New Hampshire's going to have to pull up their pants and retry the case. Montgomery likely.
I mean, I can't believe how much they're going to now spend on this. It's crazy. But the people that have to be put through it. Cool and Chris, Kayla was not in jail right after this trial. She literally got 3.5 to 7 years with 18 months suspended. By the time the freaking trial was over, Kayla was granted parole and officially released from prison on May 17th, 2024. None, and I mean none of Kayla's charges had to do with Harmony's abuse or her death. It was about her lying to law enforcement about Harmony's whereabouts. And that was when they initially, I could go back to all the different, they've got all the different interrogations where you hear Adam Montgomery just lying his ass off to police and Kayla saying, I don't know. And then she changes her story. And that's why they gave her that time. And they said, hey, you're going to get you perjury. It's not going to be murder charges. But here's the deal. You got to testify against him. All right. And she was released shortly after.
You won't show up again. You'll put in the same evidence. You'll probably be precluded from putting in that July 19th assault evidence, right? That's not going to come in. There may be arguments for and against, but it's not coming in because that's the reason for the new trial. So it'll be a slightly different trial, but you'll have the same eyewitness, likely the same unrefuted evidence. You'll have all the physical evidence. You'll hear about what he did with the body afterwards, all of that. All of that. So they got to convict him again. They'll have to try him, convict him again, and sentence him one more time. And don't forget, in this case, Harmony Montgomery still has never been found. Adam Montgomery has never given up that information.
And I still did not see those charges incorporated into this case. So as far as the welfare benefits, etc., I'm just telling you what I see. And when I look it up, I don't know if that was prior or they added it to it, but I don't see anything about it. I don't know if the deal was like, hey, let's just lump it all into one. This is how much time you get. You testify to what you just told us. Now, again, what's not a lie, and we'll do this for you. Again, like Rebecca Haro, like Jen Soto. What was the case yesterday? Melanie Federline. The audacity of that woman, Melanie, to be doing a live stream, psychic tarot freaking live stream, getting people's money, and people come in there and ask her, what about justice for Eve? Oh, we're not talking about that right now. Like, I mean, I understand that to an extent, but lock Melanie Federline up as well. Yeah, he's guilty. He didn't admit to guilt, though. That's the thing. There's no admittance to it. They agreed upon what the charges were going to be. They moved forward with the trial, and they found him guilty. So I don't know when she's on. It was the mob crew. Melanie Federline is Eve Rogers' mom. You should definitely go watch that episode from yesterday. It's called Eve Rogers, and her mom is exploiting her with the tarot cards and a crystal ball. Guy, it's bad. It's Melanie is like Jen Soto 2.0. And then we got Kayla Montgomery, that's Jen Soto 3.0, right? Just all these nasty potato moms.
He was offered a deal here. Give the information, we'll give you 35 years. 35 years. Just tell us where Harmony is.
Nope.
Harmony's mom wants to find her.
Nope.
Harmony deserves to rest in peace. Her life was horrific. Her life was horrible.
Yeah.
She was never given a chance, yet there are photos of her smiling. And I think about how on earth, where did that come from? How did she find a moment to smile at all? Being dealt the hand that she was dealt. A violent felon father, abusing drugs, a mom who had a drug problem, doing everything she can to fix that drug problem. And when Harmony was murdered, nobody reported her missing.
Yep, momsters.
Nobody. Imagine that. 5 years old and gone. No uncle, no aunt, no grandma, no grandpa. No one was saying, where's Harmony? Where's Harmony? Hey, I want to talk to Harmony.
Don't
she didn't
worry.
have any of that in her life.
Her mom's going to regret
She
it
was still able
forever.
to, in moments, I guess, the mind of a child, the innocence of a child, the joy of a child. And then the only thing that she had, which was potentially, some life after growing up where she could get away from all the horrible things around her. She never got an opportunity to enjoy.
You know, I think she was abused the majority of her life, guys. I think that she probably, Harmony probably preferred that way out than what she was going through. Now, I never said anything about her being essayed or any of that. But had she continued living with a family like Kayla and Adam, they would have been trafficking her out at the as soon as the age that they could get money for her. They would have been doing that. That's what I'm saying. All these moms not protecting the kids. I know, it's so sickening. I was on fire last night. I had to be, because I wanted to get on there before she shut it down. But don't worry, Adam is going to be in jail from the other convictions. Let's finish this up, continue, and then we'll wrap this up. Thank you guys for being here. Happy Friday once again. Let's get this channel back into the algorithm. I can't take a break. Otherwise, it's like, what? 100 people? 100 people I love, but 100 people.
We'll stay on the story. If Adam Montgomery gets tried again, we will get our Court TV cameras inside there. We'll show you the evidence, and we'll expose the evil that surrounded the life of little Harmony Montgomery. I'm Vinnie Politan. Thank you for joining us for this special breaking news edition of Vinnie Politan Investigates.
Vinnie Politan, he is very captivating in person, as well as on the screen, by the way. Let me show you. Adam will remain in jail. Take a look. Take a listen.
Court overturned Adam Montgomery's murder conviction. 2 years ago, Montgomery was sentenced to 45 years to life for the murder of his 5-year-old daughter, Harmony. But as WBZ's Christina Rex shows us, the court says he did not get a fair trial.
Can you tell me that she's alive?
Adam Montgomery's murder conviction overturned by New Hampshire's highest court.
I swear on my life.
The 35-year-old was convicted in 2024 of murdering his 5-year-old daughter, Harmony, by allegedly beating her to death in 2019 and later disposing of her body. Harmony wasn't reported missing for more than 2 years, and her body has never been found, despite numerous searches from police and the public.
Devastated, of course.
Retired Massachusetts Judge Carol Erskine oversaw the adoption of Harmony's brother, Jameson, and she's been an advocate for reform ever since.
People have to understand the court didn't come out and say, hey, he's innocent, or they didn't meet the beyond a reasonable doubt standard. The court didn't say that.
Montgomery's murder conviction was overturned because the court said he was...
Again, the justice system's all messed up. You guys know that as much as I do. But when you see a dude like this and you roll up and they're living in the car, why didn't they check on the children? It makes me wonder, why didn't they account for them one by one? I mean, you can see clearly this idiot just woke up. She's over there barefoot with her feet up. Who knows what the other kids are doing back there or how nasty that car smelled? What is happening? These people just continue to have kids and collect money and do drugs. I hate this story, and I really, it's not a story. It's true. But, I'm definitely not going to be covering day by day on the trial. It was rough enough the first time. And I think Grizzly covered it. She'll do it justice for y'all.
Prejudiced when the trial judge allowed strong evidence of a July 2019 beating of Harmony and weaker evidence of a December 2019 alleged murder to be presented in the same trial. The decision reads, "We therefore conclude that this disparity created a significant risk that the jury would rely on the strength of the evidence that the defendant struck the victim in anger in July to conclude that he similarly and fatally struck the victim in December."
It's very hard, I think, for a jury to separate something like that, like this vicious assault that took place in July.
Yeah. Prosecutors plan to retry the murder case on its own.
Yes.
It will likely focus on the testimony of Kayla Montgomery, Adam's estranged wife, who allegedly saw the murder happen. And it'll be hard for Harmony's family to relive.
This just opens up wounds for the family that, are just difficult to manage.
And a question a lot of people have tonight, Adam Montgomery will not get out of jail right now. He's doing more than 40-year sentence for a number of other crimes he was convicted of. Now, the adoptive parents of Harmony Montgomery's brother did release a statement to WBZ saying they're disgusted by this decision. They said they hoped their son would not have to see or hear about the nightmare that his sister lived, but now he'll be old enough to understand this second trial. Lisa?
And it is such painful information. Christina, thank you.
All right, y'all. Let's let's remove this. Justice, hold on. Oh my goodness, what is this? This is Eve Rogers case that just came up. Oh my goodness, on April 6th. We're in June. Okay. All right. Justice for Harmony Montgomery. Let's cleanse the palate really quick so we can take that off and we'll just talk for a minute. Yeah, Letitia Stout, Murdoch, and now this. Now this. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, let's cleanse the palate real quick so we can. It's Friday. Damn, we've been here for 2 hours already. I'm glad I got it done. But I also wanted to talk about, I don't know, they didn't give information about the minor at all. They just showed him and they showed the dad. They showed the adoptive dad. All right. So that being said, before we continue any further, I'm going to go to, I think it's at Turtle Island, so I can send you guys to the right spot, because obviously I won't see you guys this weekend, and I guess it really does depend on how the weekend goes if I'm coming back on Monday. So it's not Turtle Island. It's at, wait, Dolly Vision. Is it Dolly Uncensored? What am I? Let me see. It's Dolly Uncensored, right? Okay, let me show you guys real quick, just so you guys know. They said they were doing it. Sometimes Dolly and PJ do it on Sunday. Sometimes they do it on Wednesday. Sometimes they do it on Wednesday and Sunday. I'd say the best thing for you guys to do if you're interested in Turtle Island is going over to Dolly Uncensored. I'm going to show it to you right now. I just don't want to interrupt, when we're doing episodes. I really don't want to, in the middle of an episode, start talking about Turtle Island. It's just, I don't think that's appropriate. So we're at the end. Palate cleanse, justice for Harmony Montgomery. Let's pray that it doesn't take too much of a toll on the people that have to retestify again, and that monster just goes away forever. All right. So Dolly Uncensored is right here. There's a link. It's at MMA Cage Buzz. Not sure why. That's the name of the channel, but there it is. Turtle Island season 7. That was a day ago. Okay. And on that day, Guilty of Crime got picked for Turtle Island season 7. I was one of them. So there's the link. All right. Well, let's see if we can.
I'm only taking one vote.
Let's see the end.
Spring Chris.
So I don't know how to explain it. Y'all are gonna have to figure it out. But let me show you.
You can call in next show. Yes, we try to limit it to one call per show so everybody can get their calls in.
But you'll pick up this real easily. This was just to get people on the island. And in chat, you can put your super chat, super stickers, or you can call in. In this case, people were calling in to get the creators on there. All right. Someone says, killing time in any GOC. I see Wild Wander says guilty. Kel, I see you. It says, hey, Jay. Jay rocks at what she does for sure. Oh, you guys are awesome. I wasn't listening to the whole time. I hopped in there and I heard someone say, call in. And so I did. Let's see. There's 4 people that got picked, guys. There's ultimately going to be more, though.
To say the guy that was looking for Brian Guthrie.
He said the guy that was like.
Does she have a channel?
Mab Investigates is her channel.
Oh, it was Mab Investigates. People were getting confused by Mab and Mrs. Mab. Hold on, let me just show you real quick, and then I'll let y'all go.
That y'all want to see on this turtle. And just remember, if you didn't make it tonight, there's still 2 more shows to get your favorite contestants onto the show. And then still, you don't never know who we're going to pick. All right. So awesome show tonight. Good seeing you guys. Season 7 is back. Like I said, the pre-shows are not as exciting as the actual shows. Where we get to pick people in the mystery card. Cooking with Mr. Good Looking and Guilty of Crime are our are 4 people.
There you go.
Tonight, Mab didn't get any votes. No, I think you did get it. I think you did get a couple votes, Mab. You got a couple votes. You just didn't get as many as Patriot Pride. And what the problem is she was adding y'all's votes together. All right, but it would actually technically be Patriot Pride with the most.
All right, so the bottom line of this for me is that I'm a person that loves to collaborate with other people. I feel like by building other people up and then building you up, you have a stronger community. Now, this is kind of a cutthroat game because on Turtle Island, after a while, people start getting real excited and they even get upset to the point where, you know, they'll call in and say, kick off guilty of crime because I just don't like her face. Right? You don't got to be like that. You really don't got to be like that. You can kick me off because you want somebody else to win, but you don't got to be nasty. So the advantage of being on Turtle Island for me is being able to communicate with these other creators that I didn't know about before watching Turtle Island. We get to sit there and chat. We get to talk. And then if you win Turtle Island, well, you get, it's like some belt. Like they do this weird wrestling belt. So it would be the Guilty of Crime logo. And then I think there's a cash prize. Last time I told y'all if I win the cash prize, that I'll donate that to National Missing, the NMEC. So I don't even know what the actual value of any of it is, but we'd love to win. We'd love to collaborate with other people. We want to be in the community of people that lift each other up and just be decent. That's all. Yeah, they get like that. People get competitive and angry, and there's just no reason for it. Yeah, fancy wrestling belt, $500, which would be a good addition to my office right here with the Guilty of Crime. So I appreciate you guys. Let's hope it doesn't get all cutthroat like last season. A lot of the drama channels that were on last season are bye-bye. YouTube's not having those people anymore. So that being said, I think the quality is going to be a lot higher of creators, and hopefully we have a ton of fun. All right. So Wednesdays and Sundays. And again, just go subscribe to Dolly. Go subscribe to Dolly Vision and Dolly Uncensored, and you'll figure the rest out. I'm not going to be doing this every week. So vote for me. Vote. I'll just let you know, and we'll move on. All right, guys. On that note, I'm out of here. Justice for Harmony Montgomery. Let's hope that that she gets the justice she deserves, and Adam, frankly, never gets out. Love you guys. Thank you. Yeah, you got to just keep trying. Like in the old school days when you tried to win concert tickets. Remember that? Keep calling the number. Hello, this is KM, whatever, right? This is KMEL. What'd you win? I won some tickets. Yeah. All right, guys. Love you. I'll see you guys next week. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm out. Mwah. Thank you.
Guilty of Crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of Crime.
Are you guilty?